Hi, this is Brass Check, and we're recording this on Thursday, April 8th, and April 8th, 2021. And we've got to timestamp everything because we need to demonstrate that we're a little bit ahead of the curve. Don't know exactly when we did. I'd have to have my assistant do the research and go through our hundreds of videos and find the right date, but I'm going to say sometime last summer. We were talking about the close connections between New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, the COVID hero, and Dr. Anthony Fauci. And surprisingly, amazingly, unbelievably, we are the only news outlet on the planet Earth that has made any attempt to draw attention to the fact that these two groups, Fauci and the Cuomo family, which includes Chris Cuomo, a CNN anchor, are very close. And we made a couple of videos about that. Told a bunch of journalists, and all we got from them was yawns. So anyway, here it is, and that includes a lot of progressive, cutting-edge resistance journalists. Do I sound pissed? Yeah, I'm pretty pissed. Anyway, it's April 6th newspaper I'm looking at, the New York Post, and people have finally woken up to the fact that maybe Andrew Cuomo isn't such a great hero after all. Maybe he's responsible for the death of thousands of nursing home patients. Apparently he's had a good old time harassing his female employees and making them uncomfortable at work. But now, the latest is he and his brother got some special medical care from a woman named Dr. Eleanor Adams, who works for the state but doesn't work for the state. Very strange. She gets money from a nonprofit organization called Health Research, and yet she's a state employee. And she's the one that went out to the Cuomo mansion in Long Island and gave the family COVID tests when nobody else in America could get them. I don't think anybody really needed them, unless you're a healthcare worker working with vulnerable people. But anyway, nobody could get them. But somehow the Cuomo family all got their COVID tests well in advance of anybody else. Here's the thing. She's doing work for the state of New York. She's providing services to the governor of New York and his family, which includes a CNN anchor. But she's getting a salary from some basically shadowy group. So someone named Bill Hammond, senior fellow for health policy at the Empire Center think tank in Albany, called Adams Employment by this group HRI, Health Research Inc. Not good. Health Research Inc. has received $760 million from the federal and state government during the year that ended in March 2019. So they get a ton of tax dollars. They also throw some money. Would you believe they also throw some money to Cuomo's health commissioner? Now, the health commissioner is the guy that makes all the rules. Got to stand 6 feet apart, got to wear 3 masks, only can have one person in the store at a time. If you're a church, you have to close. If you're a liquor store, a pot distribution center, or a brothel, you can stay open. I mean, this is the kind of lunacy that's gone on, has been all set by this psychopath who we've reported on before, named Howard Zucker. Well, Howard Zucker gets $73,000 a year from Health Research Inc. And what does he do for that $70,000, $73,000 a year? Well, according to what they've figured out, now that somebody's investigating this, he works about 2 hours a week. Wow, that's pretty good. I'd like to work 2 hours a week and get $73,000. So anyway, Mr. Hammond says this is not good. Here you have very high-ranking public health officials Um, yeah, it's unbelievable. So basically, this person was a high-ranking health official in New York State, and she doesn't appear on the public record, and she's not paid directly by the state. She's just a free agent, just going around doing her thing. Hammond said that HRI kind of verges on being a slush fund because the legislature doesn't determine how the funding is spent or used, and the public also can't see what it's spending the money on, and that makes it ripe for abuse. It's operating in this gray area, which is never good when it comes to state government. There are hundreds of people on the HRI payroll, and we can't see it. How do you like that? How do you like that? So we've got hundreds of people working for a nonprofit, posing as state officials of New York, but not on any official New York state record as an employee, running around, setting policy, ruining people's lives, and providing special services to the Cuomo family when they need it. Now, a Department of Health New York State person says that HRI is an independent, not-for-profit organization that supports cancer research and public health initiatives, and said that it had sole control over its records. So this gets even better. So not only did the state of New York utilize people working for a nonprofit that is not subject to state approval, but all the records of who these people are and what exactly they've been doing the last year are sealed because they have it's the nonprofit that has the control over the records. All right. So I told you. I told you this was going on, and this is going on in every state of the union. They, and by they I mean the CDC and Fauci's organization, NIH, have and the nonprofits have been infiltrating and basically taking over public health, not just in New York State, but in probably every state. I'm sure you're going to see an arrangement like this in every single state, where you have basically shadowy figures that are not on anybody's radar, not on anybody's payroll record. They're not subject to oversight, and if you want information on them, you can't even get it. So anyway, this is in the news now. It's April. We were already pointing out that there were some very strangely close connections between Fauci and the Cuomo family. We also pointed out that this miscreant who runs the Department of Health, Howard Zucker, is not a immunologist. He's not an infectious disease expert. He's not an epidemiologist. He's a cardiologist hack who hasn't practiced medicine in years, and is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, and is part of the HIV equals AIDS gravy train. And there's thousands of people out there, and as we pointed out many months ago, they're all being fed by Fauci's original fraud. HIV equals AIDS, and this goes all the way back to Mario Cuomo, the father of the two Cuomo miscreants. He was one of the first pigs at the trough to suck up all that federal money for another medical fraud that Fauci was involved in, and that fraud has been operating for since the 1980s. Billions, they've pulled $500 billion, that's with a T, in real dollars in bogus HIV equals AIDS research alone. Right? So who knows how many hundreds of billions of dollars have been spent to create, nonprofit groups. It's so vast, and nobody has a clue, and it's just so frustrating, really, honestly, to just see that this. So a slight glimmer of this is now appearing in one newspaper, the New York Post, but even they don't really seem to understand what they're looking at. So anyway, that's Brass Check, and I don't know what to say. This is the real problem. This has been the problem since day one. This infrastructure of grifters and con artists running off taxpayers' money, um, and they're everywhere. And there's literally a factory for them. No kidding. It's either NIH or CDC. I forget which. I think it's CDC. And we did a video on this. Actually has a whole school where they get the best and brightest corporate government con artists and train them in how to whip up hysteria amongst the public on public health issues. In fact, we'll put the video down below so you can follow this. As far as I know, we're the only people on earth talking about this, reporting this. If you are supporting us, you should pat yourself on the back because you're the reason you're learning this. If you're not supporting us, you really should think about supporting us. I mean, we've been under attack since 2008, long before the current wave of censorship. We had our email deliveries blocked by Comcast and AOL and Yahoo to our subscribers. People that wanted to receive emails from us. Well, Comcast and AOL and Yahoo decided they didn't want it. We do have mail blocked by Gmail routinely. Twitter has suspended my access to my Twitter account after 12 years of advertising on our site. The extortionists at Google basically said to us, take down these COVID videos and some other things, or we're going to pull all our ads. So I told them, get lost. You can pull all the ads you want. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. But that cost us a lot of money. I don't mind it, but I do think if you're benefiting from this, you really should think about contributing something. You pay for your cable, you pay for your internet. I'm sure the guy doesn't give you the newspaper for free. This really isn't free either. And I would like to be doing other stuff, frankly, but no one else is doing this reporting, and I mean no one. There is some good stuff out there, but nobody seems to be getting the infrastructure that makes all this possible. And we're doing it. We're making it clear. And here's finally a little glimmer from a newspaper that employs hundreds. And they finally are getting a clue. Anyway, we'll put the links below and you can follow. All right. Thank you.